Alright, so welcome back. Hoping you're having a fabulous day. After yesterday's dev notes, we got like an idea of what's happening in the game. Thought I'd give you this updated video in some sort of format because I would like to do this in a better manner than I've recently done, and I spent some time on this. It may not look that nice, but I thought that I put some effort into it, so hopefully you enjoy it. We basically know what some of the upcoming banners are. Now we kind of have a timeline, so again, what to prepare for in the upcoming months, just for you. So like and subscribe, helps out a ton. Let's jump into it. Let's talk about dev notes, go over everything again, and have a bit of fun here. So yeah, again, I made this. I know it may not look like it was quality, but it took time, so hopefully you do enjoy this. I'll give you a full look over also later on, so you at least understand it. But again, let's go through this together and understand it. Basically, we had the dev notes yesterday, which was a lot to read and a very well done dev notes. I do think Nikke has some of the best dev notes. I have seen some very bad ones, so it is true. I have also seen some very good ones, but I would say that on a lot of the dev notes, we do get a lot of good things, though again, not always good things, but it is great here and there to see some nice little changes and them giving more ideas of what's happening here. Obviously, they gave like what's happening with Summer Part 2, and they also gave what's happening with Mask being next, because I do think that, you know, that's a way to also keep people like hyped. I still say that leaks were great for the community, so people get hyped for it. Yes, the design's gonna always trigger people, but again, you can't do much about that. I understand that it gets changed. People just can't complain about that. Allow it to get changed. You can't do much. Whenever they release into game, that's it. Simple as that, right? Yes, we've seen some characters be already released in as an NPC and get swapped out. What was Leona? She changed heavily, right? So that does happen. But again, leaks are good for the game because it gives you an idea of what's next and like time to save and like, oh, that's pretty cool. But instead of that, if you give the idea of what's happening, saying like, oh, there is a Summer Part 2, now confirming when Summer Part 2 starts, also confirming that yes, this is your next character, it's good. So this banner is still great. We don't need leaks if you have this banner, correct? Correct. So that is there. But again, to each their own, whatever you want to say, that's there. So first, we had the confirmation. See You Again will pop up on August 3rd, which is huge. And on July 20th, yes, we will get the next character, which is Masked. So all of this information gives us the idea what we already knew. I told this to you exactly already, but again, who cares? Who cares, right? Here, on the 20th, we're gonna land, we're gonna get Masked. Pretty simple, pretty easy. That's there. July 23, right there on the 20th. That will be a 2-week banner, so the 27th, you won't get anything. But over here on the 3rd, that is the start to the Summer Celebration Part 2. Okay, now, we do not know if this is a 2-week banner. These icons over here indicate a banner should release, depending on what we know. But again, if it is a 2-week banner, no second banner, right? That means that if that happens, you'll get a banner on the 17th, and no banner on the 24th, but on the 31st, correct? But again, I do think it's a double banner. The way they've been hyping it up, I still say that it's a limited banner also. But again, we do not know. It could just be Anchor. That could like pop up. I'm saying that it is going to be Anise and Sugar, which would be really cool. Why the hell did you say Anise here? They know that we're so hyped for this thing, and you saying it here, Shift Up, will ruin everyone's mood if it does not actually happen. Because you said her name here, right? As if she's part of the barbecue event. Why is she going to be in her regular like clothes, in her regular form, while you're doing this entire summer event? It makes no sense to me. No sense. So you better make it happen. The people have been wanting this. Hopefully that is the case. But again, Sugar also kind of mentioned it. So both of those, depending on what happens, that should happen. So definitely it would be pretty cool. We will get another banner on the 24th if it is a 3-week banner. That's just how it works. So on the 23rd or 24th, sorry, I'm expecting. So this might not happen exactly, but I do think that these characters, the schoolgirl characters, will appear at some point. Their names are Zui and Ian, something like that. So I do think that that has the most potential to pop up as some sort of standard banner, either here in August or maybe September if my next guess is pretty much wrong. But again, confirmed, August 3rd, you have Summer. Probably a 3-week banner in my opinion, okay? If not, we'll see. Then it's a 2-week, and then the whole schedule will sort of change. But I do think it's limited. I do think they're going to approach that way. And if it is limited, it's obviously Anise and Sugar. So that's there. But beyond that, it could be Anchor, could be anybody. That is true. Could be some sort of summer pilgrim we don't know of. I don't know. It could be anything. So it is worth mentioning. But that is there. Let's say the 24th is a standard banner. It makes a lot of sense. These characters were kind of introduced. These characters have been floating around. And it makes a lot of sense because some games around the August, September, and October areas, they release schoolgirl outfits. The 2 games that I've played around these times always release that yearly. But again, we don't know what can happen. It's different for all games. We don't know because this game hasn't already had a full year playthrough where we kind of have ideas of what lands in what area. So again, this is purely speculation, but I do think either into August or if September, if I'm incorrect, or at that point, we'll see this pop up, but we'll see, right? That is worth mentioning. So, and again, why am I saying that? Because Nier has to happen. If you're putting Nier on the 24th over here, every player is going to like jump out a window because there is no way you have limited into Nier. That's going to be so miserable. So I say limited into a skip banner, okay, and then potentially into Nier. Because it makes helpfulness, if you will, where players don't want to, you know, lose their mind. So potentially, it drops on the 7th over here. That could also just be a 2-week standard banner, and then actually it drops on the 21st over here, and then we have a full like 3-week period for Nier. Anything can happen here. I will say that it makes a lot of sense to like do one skip, like one standard banner in between, not two, because right after, literally right after, you're coming into November. Around the 2nd or the 9th of November, you're probably going to get the anniversary. That's there. So doing Nier into the anniversary is even worse, right? You're going to be summoning on Nier and be like, oh no, there's a broken Pilgrim unit coming a month later. So again, that's also there. And also what else is there is we don't know if Nikke does Halloween banners. That's also there, right? So if they do some sort of Halloween thing, like Exia gets a ghost skin or something like that, imagine that. But really, some games do it, some games don't. Nikke could just say, screw it, we don't do Halloween stuff. Like Grand Cross, one game that I cover, they do Halloween stuff. A few other, like a bunch of other games actually do Halloween stuff, but not all of them. All right, so definitely we could see something here, but also we could miss it. Could be nothing, just like standard banner out of fill of October, but it would make sense if it is standard to go into November clean and straight into Pilgrim, right? Because again, this is the anniversary time. That's when that should pop up around that 2 days that I mentioned. But again, over here, it does make a lot of sense if they do Halloween or if they just do standard banners back to back. Over here, I would say September makes the most sense for Nier. It's far away from, or a bit away from Limited, and still a little bit away from Pilgrim. It would make the most sense, but again, we're in an area where a lot of the things we know has been a little bit more off, if you will, but definitely it would be pretty cool, yeah? And again, when we do get the Pilgrim, it's a very high chance, in my opinion, like my fullest opinion, I see Red Hood being it. Like, she would make the most sense and the most hyped for the first anniversary. She's been currently hyped up in the game multiple times as small little like mentions of her name, and then in the half anniversary event, you kind of got some background in who she actually is and some sort of stuff like that, which if you put 2 and 2 together, you know who Red Hood actually is, which I won't spoil. I want you to go and progress through that and understand that, but that would be outstanding. Literally the coolest thing ever. But there are other Pilgrims. There's a bunch of other Pilgrims. Crown, Nayuda, Libralio. There's a bunch of other Pilgrims that could launch for the first anniversary. But the one that I think really has a lot of potential. So all this is worth mentioning, but we already know that July, we're getting masked for 2 weeks. August, most likely will be just comprised of all summer. Then some sort of standard banner over here because they want to give you a gap. If they're going Nier right away, damn, rip all the whales. Rip all the whales out there. But let's say standard. It could also be another standard in between. Then Nier pops up over here, which lasts like 3 weeks. Then a standard going straight into the 2nd or the 9th for the anniversary. So we do have a lot to look forward to, but that's November. That's basically up to October. But again, it could be just standards instead of some limited. September, Nier, stuff like that, or just some sort of standard banner. Over here, Anise, Sugar. Maybe if you want to do the Schoolgirl update, that's also there, but and then masked, but that's really it. So I did want to mention that, did want to talk about it and just give you my ideas of what we can expect in the coming months of the game. There's a lot, so I would stay prepared, stay happy, stay hyped, but you know, it's like the best time to play right now. There's a lot coming soon. You have summer, you have Nier, you have a Pilgrim anniversary, so just my 10 cents, but you let me know what you think. With that, I'll catch you in the next one. Have fun, stay safe, peace, and enjoy. That's been it for me, and yeah,